In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the Tech Zone.
Welcome back to the Tech Zone, third and final segment of the show. We're going to talk about games. This segment, I know you're excited. I am too. So without any further delay, let's bring on our next. Now, I told you guys I was going to have my man with the master plan, Dominican Dominator, Tony Polanco, in the house with me. What's up, Tony?
What's going on, Paul? How you doing, man? Always glad to be on the Tech Zone.
Oh, you know how we do, man. Writer, editor, show host, gamer. What don't you do, Tony?
That's a good question, man. I guess I don't fly. That's not an ability of mine, But I got my hand in a lot of different baskets, man. Try to keep busy,
And for those of you who know Tony and check out his show, Tony's on his best behavior because Tony's like Def Comedy Jam, so he's on his best behavior. He told me he's gonna keep the words at a minimum and everything, but I'm glad you're your best behavior, Tony.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, like I said, here, I'm still me. I'm still being real. It's just the cleaned up PG-13 version, but the essence is still there.
There you go.
Yo, remember the old school edits on public television or movies? It's like, yo, what am I watching right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you mother trucker.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
And I remember I was watching Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee's
classic
joint
right there, man.
And I remember it was on regular TV, and it was I think it was Radio Raheem. And in the real movie said, give me 20 MF batteries, right? But then in the TV edit said, give me 20 Mickey Ficky D batteries. It was funny, man. But yeah, those were the times, right?
I remember that. I remember the rap edits. We're not gonna get into that, but this is Paul was saying. When we and him start talking, we just go off, man. But I remember them rap edits like Compton City G's instead of Mother Effing G's.
Yes, remember that? Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
Oh man.
So my man, let's talk about something we love, gaming, and some of the hot topics. I'm gonna throw them at you. Let me get your take on PlayStation Now. PlayStation is new. It's been around for a while, but it's a push now of the online gaming catalog and everything. What is your take on PlayStation Now?
All right, so yeah, PlayStation Now has been around for, I believe, 4 years now. I remember I first played at E3. I think it was maybe 5 years by now. But like you said, it's been a while for a while. And the whole thing is it's a streaming service. You have PlayStation Now app on your PlayStation or on your PC. You can stream PlayStation 3 games and now PlayStation 4 games. Personally, I'm still very skeptical about streaming games because there's latency. Even if you don't notice there's latency, there's a latency inherent. Some games are better than others. Like if you're playing a platforming game like Ratchet and Clank, that doesn't really matter. But if you're playing something like Street Fighter, you notice that latency there. So there's that issue. And, and not only is it inherently latent, but, and Paul, you know this better than me, our infrastructure when it comes to the internet in America is not exactly very good. So it's not reliable. Like if that thing goes down, you ain't playing nothing, So I still think there's a ways to go. But as a platform itself, I think it's good because for about, I believe it's $100 a year now, you get access to hundreds and hundreds of games. That's a great value for people. It's just for me personally, I need that instant reaction, and it still doesn't give that to me.
One of the things that I like about it is now not only you can play it on your PC, your gaming consoles. Now they have it where you can play it on your smartphones now, your devices. So that's pretty cool. Like for instance, if you getting down on the game and family's like, hey, let's go, we got to run. All right, pick it up on your device and everything. You can go ahead and do it. And you bring up a very good point about streaming and the latency issue with the internet. I really think 5G, if we ever get to that point, I think 5G is going to really rectify that situation with latency when it comes to certain games. One thing that I really like about it, I like the gaming catalog, PS2 games, PS3, now PS4 games, and they keep adding catalog, keep adding games, every month. And like I got it last week. So I started playing the Jurassic Park game. I think it was a PS3 game. You can really look at the maturation process of video gaming over the years. That's what I like about it. You can see like a PS2 game, see where PlayStation was back then. to see where they're at now with these PS4 games. So it kind of takes me through like a different, I want to say like a narrative of a story of PlayStation and what they're doing. And here's another thing that I kind of really enjoy about the platform too is I don't have to buy all those games. I could just pay my monthly service and do that, but you got to write them. Some parts of the United States, the internet's not that good. We live in, you live in New York, I live in Southern California. Our internet is screaming, but you get somebody who lives in the sticks somewhere, I don't know. I think they still got dial up.
Exactly. Yeah, this isn't really like if you live in the city, you're fine, but you live out in the sticks, like you said, man. Mountains. This is not a thing for you, man. But the thing is, like, and I'm glad we're talking about this because it is going to be the future of gaming. Microsoft is doing it now, so I'm forgetting the name of their specific service, but basically same deal. You subscribe to it, you get to play like hundreds of Xbox games, so it's definitely coming. But my thing is, because here's the thing about journalism, man. Some journalists are just so like reactionary to stuff. Like, oh, that's it. It's gonna kill all physical games. Physical games ain't going anywhere, man. They may not be as prominent as they used to be, but they're still gonna be around. But I think streaming is gonna be a nice alternative, But yeah, physical ain't going nowhere. They still got vinyl out there, bro. People like the physical stuff, But like you said, it's definitely a good value. Just tons of games. And I didn't think about that, but you're right. It kind of shows you, like you said, the maturation of PlayStation 2 to 3 to 4. Makes you appreciate how far we've come in such a short amount of time. People don't realize gaming is still a very, very young medium compared to everything else, So you actually can't. I mean, you know how it is, man. We grew up and we went from Atari to Nintendo to Super Nintendo to PlayStation 2, 3, 4. And now PlayStation 5 is on the corner, so it's interesting to see all that come through. And a service like this gives you access to all of that. It's a great way of preserving games, which a lot of people don't talk about,
And remember, in television and ColecoVision.
Man, old school, man. That's even before my time.
Yeah. I'm a little bit older than Tony, so but yeah, that's where it is. And PlayStation and Microsoft are smart with doing this because you don't have to have a PlayStation to sign up for the service. Now what's going to happen is people are playing this on their PC. They're going to be like, PlayStation has a new game. It's a PlayStation exclusive. I got to get me a PlayStation now. So it's a great marketing ploy because, Tony, you and I both game. We got consoles, we got PCs, we got laptops, the full gaming experience. And I encourage everyone to get the gambit when it comes to gaming because you're going to find out certain games you like playing on this, certain games you like playing on your tablet or your laptop or your desktop. Get it all.
Yeah, man, gaming is great. It always has been great, always will be great. So I do like the fact that you're not really tethered to one system anymore, one platform. Think about this. You could theoretically buy a small little box where you could just play all these PlayStation Now games in the future. Why not? I think PlayStation View or PS TV does something similar to that. So yeah, it is kind of interesting because again, we grew up in the era of consoles where, everything was partitioned. Now this is going to break those walls open,
Yeah.
Like why can't you have a box where you could play Xbox games and PlayStation games, maybe potentially Nintendo games in the future if they ever, get their heads out of their butts, because Nintendo, you know how it is, man. They're always backwards and stuff. But I'm glad Sony and Microsoft are at least trying to move forward,
PlayStation, not PlayStation, but Nintendo reminds me of that, that stuck up girl you went to school with. You know what I mean? Who thinks she's just a bomb, right? That she's just a bomb. And over 20 or 30 years, she still thinks she's a bomb. And that's after she done got her grown folks thick. That's after she done, got opened up a can of biscuits. She don't look the same no more. But she still thinks she it. And not knowing that everybody else done caught up with her and she's not the end thing no more. I think that's kind of like Nintendo, hopefully.
That's a great way of putting it, man. I never thought about it. You're right about that, man. I can push it forward, but it's a family show, so I'll leave that. Your analogy was perfect.
I think I got an idea of how you want to push it and everything. But
you did it perfectly. I like that. Very smooth, man.
And hopefully with us being journalists and also gamers, we can let them know that, hey, if you want to, just listen, give, just, kind of like you said. Yeah, I get it. All right. So
Yeah, go ahead, man. I
no,
was just saying, I'm seeing some signs of Nintendo actually listening, but it's still gonna take a while, man.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And if anybody want to try out the PlayStation Now right now, you can get a 7-day free trial to check it out and everything, and see if it's right for you. If it's not, continue to buy the other games until your internet gets robust. All right, you kind of touched on it a little bit. The new PlayStation console. We have heard grumblings about it. I think this console, because and let's talk about the Xbox One X and kind of like the big hype behind the Project Scorpio and everything. And to me, it kind of just fell flat, after all the hype and everything. And that's just me. It's a great console. Don't get me wrong. The console kicks, don't get me wrong. But I think as far as sales and everything, I think it kind of fell flat. Tony, what was your take on it?
It's interesting to bring that up because just this week NPD came out and they said that even though Xbox is not selling as much as PlayStation, the Xbox One X itself is actually the highest selling Xbox console out there. But it makes sense. It costs $500. It's going to bring in more money, But I do think it speaks to the fact that the hardcore Xbox guys did want this thing and they are buying it, So yeah, I found that interesting. I think it said 44% of Xbox sales or something like that are Xbox One X, which is a lot, pretty interesting how that turned out, but you're right. As far as the actual hype, around it, the buzz that did die out quickly, and I predicted that too. I said by the end of the year, which was 2017, no one's going to be talking about this thing anymore. Outside of the hardcore guys, that's not happening, and I predicted that because that's exactly what happened with the PlayStation 4 Pro. Right, everybody was hyped about that. End of the year, nobody was really talking about it, but that system did sell very well to the people it was supposed to sell to, but I don't know, man, it's one of those things like, and I think you and I talked about it before. I'm not exactly a fan of these mid-gen refresh systems. Like I understand why they exist because, before, you have to wait 5, 6, last gen was 7 years before a new system. And that tech gets outdated mad quick, so they're trying to do it like with cell phones, you get one every so often. Cell phones every year, obviously. That can't happen with consoles. I don't think people do that. So they try it every 3 years. And I think, it's sold to the people it was supposed to sell to, but they were never meant for the mainstream, people and stuff. But yeah, I think that's why the talk about it pretty much tapered off, like you said.
Yeah, kind of not for the regular consumer, but like you said, for the hardcore gamer. And I think PS4 Pro and also Xbox One X, they rode the wave of 4K televisions, and people are like, hey, I got a 4K television, so I got to get me a 4K, strictly 4K system. And especially with TVs now, my last guest I had on before you, we talked about how TVs now, 4K TVs, you can get a 4K TV like $300 now, man. So, yeah. It's kind of like getting when you get that car and you want to get them new rims, you got to get the new rims, you got to get the new tires, right? So
yeah, that's right. Yo, I love your analogies, man.
So some of the hardcore gamers, we're like, hey, if I got the new rims, got to get the new tires. So
that's how I am, bro. Every time I get a new system, that's when I'm like, I gotta get a new TV now. It started with the PlayStation 2, and that was like, it wasn't even a conscious thing. I was like, I got a PS2, and my TV was kind of so I'm like, all right, let me get a new TV, and I got like one of those. It was a regular CRT TV, but it was flat screen, right? Dope TV, right? And then for PS3, I'm like, okay, this thing's 720p. I gotta get a 720p TV. When I got a PS4, got a 1080p TV. PS5. I'm getting up 4K. And like you said, it's going to be mad cheap. So I'm glad I waited because right now when 4Ks were like really becoming hot, they were like thousands of dollars, bro. I'm not trying to spend that kind of money, and there's not even that kind of like, there's, I know Netflix has some 4K content, but like if you go on regular cable television right now, there's no 4K content, True. So I think by the time PS5 comes out, which I still believe is going to be 2020, that's when 4K medium or 4K content, excuse me, is going to be more readily available in terms of video games, in terms of streaming, in terms of cable even, So, if it's $300 now, I'll probably get a really good one by then, maybe OLED with all that other stuff,
Yeah, that's true. And I think PlayStation pretty innovative when it comes to their forward thinking. Don't be surprised if that console will be 8K ready and not 4K ready. I just got a feeling because I know a few years back at the Consumer Electronics Show when he was there, we went to the Samsung press conference and they showed us what 8K is going to look like. And that was like 3 years ago. That's why you're seeing these 4K prices going down. 8K, I think, is going to revolutionize the way we view television. And it's just like regular HD TV, you know, how you might get without $50, but the thing about it is I got a strange feeling. I think PlayStation may throw a little 8K in there because 8K is, because remember, Sony makes television. So, you know, they're kind of like talking with each other, you know, planning out some of these things. They kind of got like you know, the inside scoop with the television division. Microsoft doesn't have that. Microsoft is just, you know, development, computer hardware, and all these other things. I got a strange feeling, man. We're gonna get our socks blown off with that new PlayStation, and I got a feel it's gonna be called the PlayStation Dominican Dominator. I think it's
you crazy, man. By the way, here's my crazy little theory right now that you bring it up. I don't think the PlayStation 5 is going to have 8K. I think the PlayStation 5 Pro will. You know they're going to do it again.
Yeah, you're right. It's all about marketing, man. All about marketing.
Exactly. Like, hey, listen, even though the Pro didn't like blow out the waters, it's still sold enough for the people that want it. You know they're going to do a PS5 Pro.
Yeah, because I got me a PS4 Pro. You know, because I got 4K television. So like, I got to get the Pro. And my friend over at PlayStation was like, "No, just get the regular one." I said, "No, I want the Pro. Rims, new tires." That's how it was. Hey, so let's talk about the new Spider-Man DLC, The Heist. Yes. You played it on Twitch, man. You know, you're funny on Twitch, man. I love watching you on Twitch, man. You crack me up, man. So tell me, you know, your assessment of that.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring it up because on Twitch I actually played through the entirety of the DLC. Basically, it's if you play the regular game, there's a bunch of side quests that involve Felicia Hardy, Black Cat, right? But you never actually get to interact with her. So this DLC is all about her. You go on some missions with her and all that. And the DLC itself has the same high quality of the main game. Story acting's on point. Obviously, the graphics and gameplay are all legit, you know, and it was just such a nice addition, like a taste. It was kind of like a truncated version of the main game. What was interesting, I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously. This one actually does end on a cliffhanger, which I was surprised by. Usually when they do these type of story DLCs, they're self-contained. So it's kind of interesting that it ended off just like that. And because I know Sony has 3 planned, or Insomniac has 3 planned. So it's kind of cool that all 3 are going to be connected together, you know? So great, you know, emphasis on storytelling that I really enjoy. There's even some cool little new side missions that you get to do in there as well, which I really enjoy, man. It's an excuse to play the game again, which I am not complaining about because the game definitely going to be top of the, you know, people are going to be talking about game of the year for this one for sure. So yeah, I think the DLC is definitely worthy of the game it represents.
I totally agree with you on that. I started playing it the other day. I couldn't stay up late like Tony did when we got our advanced copy. I'm getting old. I can't stay up that late. But you bring up a very good point because last year we did our top 10 video games. Remember we did that? We got to do that again this year too.
Yeah, that's right.
We talk about it, and I remember you got on me last year because I was like, no, Battlefront 2 has to be on there. You was like, Battlefront. I remember that last year. So
yeah, and you saw how that turned out, man. Yeah. Everybody agreed with me. They didn't like that game.
Man,
for obvious reasons, you know. EA, man.
Man, talk about not living up.
Lesson, yeah. We're not going to get into that right now. But EA, I think they learned their lesson. Bro.
Yeah, talk about not living up to the hype, man. That I tell you, it's kind of like that fine, you know, that stuck up girl. You know, you finally take her out after all those years, and you realize it wasn't all that.
Yeah, exactly. Like the fantasy was better than the reality.
Yes,
you know, it was like, okay,
pretty much.
You ain't got nothing else to say, really? All right.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's it, man. That's what it's all about, man. But again, as always, man, I want to thank you for having me on, man. Always love being on with you. I never say no. You know, like I may have to bump things a couple of weeks, but you know, because we were supposed to do this a while ago, but you know, Comic-Con was going on. Then I had to do a bunch of write-ups and stuff, but this was the perfect time. And then, you know, you said where people find me, go over to Twitter. I'm at Romudeth, ROMUDTH. And then in my bio, you're going to have links to my stuff for geek.com, the Coalition, and obviously my podcast Throwdown. We're now on Twitch. We're affiliates on Twitch, which is really, really cool. And even though the contest is going to be over by the time you guys see this, we actually gave away a copy of Red Dead Redemption 2 to one of the fans just to thank them. Very appreciative of all the fans we got. We may not have millions and millions of fans, but the hundreds that we do have, I appreciate every single one of them, man. So it's pretty cool that they stuck with us on Twitch, and now we're building that platform up. It's awesome.
Definitely, man. You guys doing a fantastic job. When you gonna have me on, man?
Yeah, we gotta have you again.
Man.
Yeah, we gotta have you on soon, man. You know what? Definitely before the end of the year, gotta have you on. Bring your expertise. But like I said, we keep it real on Throwdown, man. So get ready.
Oh, I know, man. I watch you, man. I watch you now. I appreciate all of it, man. But hey, take care of yourself, bro. And thank you so much for all your insight when it comes to gaming, man. Looking forward to chatting with you soon.
All right, man. We'll talk later. Peace out.
Huge shout out to my man Tony Polanco. That's my disabled brother in arms and disabled gamers or disabled journalists. Love talking to him. And remember, always check him out. All right. Well, it's time for us to get out of here. And I want to give you a brief note out there. Always go check out the YouTube, because sometimes there's a lot of content that we don't get to talk about during the show here on ABC News Radio, only because of time constraints. But go to the YouTube page and you can see some of the elongated versions of these interviews that we just kind of talk too much to put on air. So you can definitely check it out. The best way to do it, PaulAmadeusLane.com. Click on shows, tech zone. There you go. Voila. Like the little cute girl said on, what's that commercial? Liberty. Said, voila. She was cool. All right. Hey, I'm out of here. Talk to you next week. Remember, folks, let's act like we got some sense, especially when it comes to social media. Let's just chill. Take a step back. And in the words of Luke Skywalker, what did he tell Rey? Breathe. Just breathe. That's what we do. Talk to you next time, folks. Take care of yourself.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.